All right, I got 6 o'clock. I'm gonna call this meeting to order for the order of business and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have 2 sets of minutes to approve. I will move to approve the regular session minutes of November the 3rd.
Second.
Vote? Yes. I will also, move to approve the special session minutes of November the 6th.
Second.
Vote?
Yeah.
Yes. Franklin County Sheriff's Office, here, present.
Here, present, and
Okay.
accounted for a little bit. So I just told the chief, the sheriff's office will be working with, OSP tomorrow on 270. We're doing like that blitz for distracted driving, speeding, things like that. So I'll probably be up in this area. So the 270 and what we call the Long Bridge right over here. So that's where I'll be. But we'll have about 12 guys, 12 of our traffic enforcement guys that will work in just traffic stuff. So,
If you all need anything, let us know.
okay. We'll do.
Where are the winter sports?
It's soccer is over after this weekend, so, the tournament in Canton, so it should be balmy.
Balmy.
Weekend.
I remember those days.
Yeah, they have right outside the Hall of Fame. stadium.
You're either cooking hot or you're freezing cold.
Yep.
There's no in
Yeah.
between.
I was at Terre Haute this past weekend.
What age?
Soccer is
Yeah.
U15, so it's like a
Oh,
college.
so you're getting
U15.
serious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Cool. Brookside, any word, any news?
Carriage rides, I think we're taken care of, right?
I have not received the application from them yet, but I did provide them with the instructions, so.
Take care of that.
Worthington Hills?
Right.
Carriage rides, is it carriage rides or pony rides?
Now you're thinking of pony rides, it's the private property, those people that wanted this part of party. Those will be the
Yeah.
carriage rides would be the civic association.
Did we ever hear from the pony ride lady as to whether or not she's gonna do it in her yard or on the
She
street?
hasn't gotten back to us yet.
Okay. It's family pony, not a business, right?
Yes, yes,
That's what I thought she said.
yeah.
Cause I've not seen anything come back from her.
That's it.
And she knew they were going with chickens and ducks and stuff.
And we're not going there again, because we're done.
Worthington Hills?
Thank you for the assistance on the carriage ride. I think we're all set.
Yep.
For that, or at least they're being reviewed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're all, it's all signed.
Did you get it back from Dan already?
Yeah, he already
Okay,
sent it back.
We'll just send it over to Joe tomorrow then.
Yeah. but,
How's it?
Super. And thank you for all of the outreach last week, this week, for the road work. It's been,
There's road work.
yes, stressful and patience is, I don't have any more patience. I'm done. I don't have thin patience anymore. I had none. So hopefully we can get that wrapped up.
Speaking of chickens, have you seen the chickens on
Oh my God.
Clubview North and Clubview South where it splits?
Mm-hmm.
You guys see them out there?
Oh, I've
every
seen
once in a
them,
while?
yeah, for months.
Yeah.
I think I have a reference to, Jim
Chicken.
asking if the chicken
Yeah.
crossed the road in the past
Really?
minutes.
Yeah, Sharon Township.
There's a chicken. You gotta see it.
Multiple chickens, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them. They're out doing their thing.
Oh, there used to be a goat. I think that's right.
Those are free range chickens. There used to be dolphins back there too, where the chickens are.
Do you remember when I first started here?
Okay.
All right, Epcot and Ravello. Any news?
Ravello got their new streetlight, so they're super duper happy. Had lunch on Friday with Rick Richards, his wife, kept requesting for the documents. They just want those documents for their records, that's all. And I'll probably call Tony at the tax map office and he'll give me an idea where the documents are.
Those were all developed though while they were still in Columbus, right? They probably with the city of Columbus.
Well, the transfer of the roads, we could go to the county commissioners, they own the roads.
Yeah, we have the letter of acceptance from the county commissioner.
Correct. We got that far,
Yes.
you know, we know it's somewhere there. I'll call Tony, we'll get it for our records too. In case somebody asks. They did, well, we can get into the road, I'm sorry, go ahead. That's all I have.
Anything open, for public comment before we close and go on to zoning? Anybody? Nothing? Okay. Zoning?
Just a couple of updates on old business. The trees on 136604 have been removed. The property at 5622 Riverside Drive is going on the market. And I have a meeting this Wednesday with the new management of the Henderson Havens.
Is that on site?
No, it's here.
Okay, because the meeting invite says, it's at. It looked like it was on site. It didn't have it here.
No, it's got the address.
Okay,
In building 1, admin building.
okay. And then, I got a question. Can I call in for that?
Yeah, we'll set you up with those teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I have to, go to Pikeville.
You just want a phone call, or you want a Teams?
I just call in.
All
I
right,
mean, if
just
somebody
call.
wants it, I'll just call, you want me to call
Just call my cell and we'll.
Okay, all right.
Go on voicemail.
Yeah.
There's no issue down there, right? Or,
No, it's just that
They're
there's new
folks trying to figure
This-
out what.
Eva that took over for Annie Richards. She's not familiar a lot
no, I know she's not.
with the procedures for getting the
Just go through
permits.
this office one more time.
So we kind of went back and forth about 12 emails and I finally said, look,
Let's talk.
yeah, that's, got it.
Anything else under zoning? Road part,
Road improvement project, Decker started, well, as of this afternoon, they had most of the driveway approaches tore out. Sounds like they plan on pouring those back on Wednesday. Working on some more of the punch list items on Wednesday. Hopefully having everybody back in their driveway by Friday. I don't know.
Cause it's medium set.
It is medium set concrete, yeah.
Okay.
Usually a 24-hour period is what they say, but I think the notice.
We're gonna give them 48 hours. That's what this letter that we're putting out in the morning says. I think we already posted those on, e-blast and internet or webpage.
I don't have any more information on that, on the patch, if there's been a solution.
So, yes. We're trying to get a call for tomorrow. And last word that I had was, we're doing the 2-foot edge mill. $68,000 is not on us. That the engineer is gonna work it out with Shelley, and I don't really care how they work it out, but it's not our responsibility, although our administrator, smart man that he is, write that down, smart man that he is, had an idea that we send a letter to the county engineer stating basically, this is a situation as we know it, that we do not believe that we are financially responsible for this. However, if you would like to talk with the township trustees, we're more than happy to have a conversation with you in regards to how this all came to be about, where we are. And if you can show us how we are somehow responsible, then we're open to conversation with you. We did not do any stop work order. We didn't do anything to hold them up other than to say, you can't do anything till after July 4th.
Right.
And you could start immediately. You could do July 5th if you wanted to. And obviously they came, pulled out, left, went to a more profitable job, blah, 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 and then put us in this position. So I think it helps us with our relationship with the county engineer to offer that conversation. And that's it.
yeah, I mean, do you have I was talking to John this morning, do you have like the dates that, you know, like I know that there are a lot of emails going back and forth and whatever, because I think having our dates of when they started, when they pulled off, and it wasn't like weather was an issue because we didn't have rain for like 3 months. But to basically just say, hey, based on our records, this is where, you know, where we saw.
Yeah, I think we could pull that pretty easily.
Yeah,
Every
I don't
time
think it's
something
gonna be-
happened, there was a notice and e-blast sent out
Yeah,
there.
and we were sending maps of like, hey, we're gonna move traffic through this way and we're gonna do that, but yeah, and the other thing, because this is kind of a similar situation that we have, that I've got to tell my staff the same thing. Our contract is with the county. So the county needs to resolve whatever issues they have, and sometimes we forget because we're kind of one-on-one with the county, but at the end of the day, this is the county's to resolve. So,
It's not our, and we have stressed that time and time,
Right.
it's not our contractor. If it was our contractor, we'd be dealing with the situation.
right,
So it feels like a salt farm thing, but we would be dealing with it directly, but since we don't have that contractual relationship directly with Shelley, they needed to resolve.
Yeah.
Well, and they're ones to point that out in the pre-cons that it goes through the county if there's issues.
Yes.
It is their project.
right. And then you were saying, so does the contract state that it was October 31st?
There was a completion date of October 31st, but it doesn't sound like there were penalties or anything worked into that.
Okay,
We had conversation, Chet actually did with, who's the gentleman from Delaware, Jeff?
Mike Metzger, who used to be Mark Mullinex
Yeah.
in Delaware County.
Yeah.
Used to fill that.
But I think, and he had made the suggestion that in the future, as we enter into contract with the county, we insist that there be some type of penalty phase or language included in any contract that we're involved with them. They should have it in all their contracts
They should.
with whoever the contractor is, but we should insist that, hey, we're gonna be a part of this and this is language we want in our contract. And I think clearly the issues that we've dealt with this year and Shelley warrant us to make that request of the engineer to include that language in our contract, and I would suggest all of his contracts.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be in the needs to be in the conversation. Getting back to, we're happy and encouraged to have this conversation with you because there's some things that went wrong and some things that I think we can recommend to them that they consider. As an organization who is putting out these contracts for many entities, why isn't there like a midpoint requirement? I mean, as Mike said, you ought to have a midpoint where it simply says, so much work shall be accomplished by this point. And then if you don't hit that final date, then there's some type of penalty, 10% penalty, whatever. And it encourages them. Our problem is that Shelley's a corporation. It's not like I can call John Strouser up and say, hey, Mr. Strouser, can you do? Or call Jonathan Apple at Decker and say, can you do? They're owned by a corporation out of Ireland. And which is the whole reason, this whole thing about Strouser's building their own asphalt plant. Shelley's doing this to everybody. We're in a big group of not liking this company.
Well, they overbid a lot of work this year. Took on way more than they could
Yes,
take care of. And I mean, that was the concern when the bid was awarded, that Shelley had took on a lot of these lower contracts like that, and this could happen. But like making these recommendations to the county, I mean, we can make those recommendations, but
You can't force them.
yeah, we can't, they're gonna,
But I think I am with, if it is our roadway and we are putting in $250,000 into that project, we have some say, and that's a conversation we can have with Pete from our perspective, but these are our residents' tax dollars and here's how we want them protected. Every other contract you choose to do with any other township or any other city or government entity, I guess is on you. But it only makes sense that there is some accountability clause in the contract, or the contractor is gonna do exactly what Shelley said. We have no ownership here.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, they're responsible for nothing. Nothing in the past, nothing in the present, or nothing in the future. That's their position.
That's what I've heard. On to the Safe Route to School
Yeah.
project. It's going a lot better.
Shelley's not there, are they?
No, it looks like about 50-60% of the sidewalks are in. They did tear out driveway approaches today. They're gonna be pouring those back in, the sidewalks and the approaches this week, with the hope of having everybody back into their driveways by the weekend.
Do we have, how many driveway approaches do we have that are impacted?
5.
That's what I thought.
The 2 on McVeigh, they've got temporary
Access,
access. They've got.
Okay.
They got them routed through the gravel into the driveways.
okay,
Or through the yard, they put gravel down, the plate over the sidewalk to protect it and,
Okay.
getting
Okay.
those 2 houses on McVeigh into their driveways. Water, the corner, Millbrae and McVeigh. They were gonna put a wedge in because he leaves for vacation early in the morning. He wanted to be able to get in his car into the driveway so he could get his 3 kids loaded. I didn't see if they put that wedge in or not, but AJ from the county was
can we make
working
sure
with
to
strong.
check on that in the morning?
I will check in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
He leaves for the airport at 5 AM.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay,
yeah, AJ sent me an email this afternoon that he thought the Strasser, they couldn't move off the tear out of that driveway. Would have resulted in another mobilization fee. But they were gonna try to put a way in there to get them in and out of that driveway. On to, old business, leaf collection is going well. We've completed 9 rounds. This week is really the first heavy week. We'll be out there. So far 77 loads, I think is what we're up to now. Average for a year is 235, so we're ways off.
We had a meeting today and Joe Smiley was here. He would like you to bring a big fan in his backyard and blow all the leaves off his one tree.
You know, we saw the golf course out on the, golf course up in Worthington Hills doing that with their big fans that blow the fairways off. They, like, why do they have this aimed up, straight up? And that's what they were doing, blowing the leaves off the trees.
Well, if you get that big fan, I'll rent that fan and I need it. on my
You need it too?
tree.
We call Jim Cole and just take
I'm
it
gonna start
around.
climbing the tree and picking them off one by one so I can get them done.
I think Andy's at the last tree that.
It is. My tree is the last tree in Perry Township.
Joe says his is.
Hey, I've been here a lot longer than he has. So,
Ravello, before we leave, are you done? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Ravello streets. So Marty put that base in for those streets, the road compact, concrete, blah, 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 that he loves so much. That I hate so much, but it's obviously showing the cracks everywhere. Our bond started on those roads when, do we know? This is why I think it's important we get.
1 year from the acceptance. I think that's in the final plot. I think the warranty language is in that.
Do we have all that?
I think we do have.
That's, I think we need to dig that out and look at that.
Every 20 foot, you're gonna see a crack. They cut that in the concrete, the expansion joint, every 20 foot. Then other areas we're gonna see it cracking is where the RCC is failing or breaking down. I haven't noticed a lot of that up there yet. We had, on the Epcot side, Safco fixed quite a bit of areas we saw prior. But I haven't seen any They're bad areas in Bellow, yeah.
Get my paper.
Hey, do you remember the, on that side for Frank County, remember the sewer line that got replaced on Fairway and Newcomer? Do you remember who the rep was from Franklin County that we dealt with?
Ryan Stowe,
Is he still with the county?
he's the assistant sanitary engineer, I believe.
Okay. I had
He's like,
to shoot him an email. Anything else on the road?
That's it.
Any public comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dan Cook, 6718 McVeigh, and I happen to be one of those driveways. So thank you for the update. I was expecting, based on conversations last meeting, we were supposed to send a staff meeting to group within the last 2 weeks. Did not receive one. Access was provided. Sean was out on site. There not metal plates, there's wood covering sidewalks, just to make sure we're clear on what's there. Okay. And last but not least, and since this is about safe routes to school, what I missed from the status was the gaping hole, is the best way I'll put it, at the corner of McVeigh and Merle. After some contractor, don't know which one, struck the gas line. There's now an opening there that's been there for 2 weeks. And there's no end in sight, and this is gonna get closed. We talked with Columbia Gas on Saturday. They said, yeah, we can take up to 15 months to fix it. The gentleman also said that potentially Strasser needs to complete work. So I'm not sure if Franklin County as the prime is going to mitigate that. But there is a hole that is approximately 6 feet wide, about 12 feet long, probably longer. I'm being conservative, and about 8 feet deep. That has literally just some flimsy stuff around it. So if we're concerned with safety in the neighborhood, you need to make sure it's in the minutes. Okay.
So, while you're gonna be over there,
Yeah, I'll ask them to fence all that off.
do me a favor, yeah, first let's fence it off. Second of all, take some pictures for me. I'll get with Columbia Gas. And then we'll get with Strouser, we'll figure out what the game plan is, but we need to button it up. So,
Yeah.
for safety reasons, because kids walk, there's no sidewalks over there, okay, and there's not sidewalks really over where the hills either, so can't have kids in that particular area, even near that area.
I'll take a look at it first thing in the morning.
Okay.
See about getting it fenced off. I know some of that area was dug out. The storms, part of the 12-inch that they removed, reworked in that area. The 12-inch above the 36 that went through there, they filled it with concrete. So we wouldn't have any issues with it sucking, creating a sinkhole later. I know that was one of the reasons it was dug down and filled up. But I'll look at this the first thing in the morning. I'll talk to the
Thank
county.
you. Well, I need to understand what the game plan is moving forward between Strouser and Columbia, yes.
We'll check on that first thing.
Anything else on the road?
That's it.
Fire and EMS?
A fire report from up from Arlington and southern part of Perry Township last month. There were 4 calls for service, 1 in Ravello and 1 in.
Police?
I think I have, under old business, it was not the last meeting, but you all had, a meeting about Flock. And the project improvement contract is here, so I'm looking for a motion to authorize Administrator Petrosi to sign the project improvement contract so we can start plotting and placing, and none of this will take place till next year. And again, there's no cost to us.
And I know we had a conversation today, the dollar figure in there represents if we were to
If we took
With
every,
all those cameras.
yeah, if we did everything, the software, the whole,
We're not-
everything,
but-
right.
Okay.
This is nothing more. We have 60 days from the time they're all in the ground.
Mhm.
We have 60 days, and after 60 days, they'll meet with us and say, do you want any of them? Do you want one? Do you want two? Do you want seven? Whatever.
Okay.
We're not obligated for anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize, the township administrator to sign the block camera project prove it contract.
Second vote?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Minister.
Just old business stuff real quick. Employee of the year voting ends Friday of this week. So far, we got 20 people that voted, which is pretty cool. I've been testing you guys for several weeks now to see if anybody's really been paying attention. The Christmas party is actually July 19th. Nobody's picked up on that or.
July.
Damn it.
I just testing us again.
Yeah.
I need a vacation. Anyway, it's the 19th.
Should have seen the study guide you sent out.
All right.
Does it start at noon?
It does start at noon.
Okay.
Sexual harassment training has now been all completed. The police officers who had to watch that on their own were given tests and they've completed those tests to ensure that they've watched it. So we're good to go there. We will now meet our expectations for Otarma's insurance. Under new business, I've talked with Ohio Business Machines. Is that what they're called?
Business systems.
Systems. Anyway, our printer in here, this copier is 9 years old now, I believe, right, Lou? It is beginning to create problems for us. It doesn't want to work all the time. Long story short, we own that. We paid for it a long time ago. It's paid for itself multiple times. We no longer need everything that copier does. So they are providing me a lease on a new copier, exactly the same as the one in the police department. I've asked for a 60-month lease on that. So as soon as I get those numbers, I'll have it available for the next board meeting. And the only other thing I have is the meeting with the Summit View developers has been moved from the 18th to the 26th. Okay.
Did you send out an invite for the 25th?
No, I just canceled the other one,
Okay.
but I will.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're wonderful.
I just need to figure out which email goes good.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's his last name and his company, because he has two of them. And one keeps,
House.
I'll figure it out. If I got it to go through the last time finally. We have a meeting tomorrow with our Aflac advisor. This guy is out of Detroit area. He's been giving Amanda a hard time saying that we're required to make sure all of our employees sit and talk with him individually. That's not true. I talked with McGowan Braybender. They offer all the same benefits as Aflac through a different insurance company, so I've asked them to give us a quote.
Who's the guy you're talking to from Aflac?
Maurice. Can't remember Maurice's last name.
Marcus McCray.
Oh, Marcus.
Marcus.
Did I say Maurice?
So Marcus
What's his name?
pitched my company on Aflac.
Yeah.
It's volunteer.
It is all volunteer, but he has given Amanda just the dickens of a time. So I finally called him and said, enough. You need to come here and you need to talk with me. Our contract was signed back in 2002.
Yeah.
We haven't updated it. We haven't looked at it. We haven't revisited it at all. So because he screwed with Amanda, I'm gonna make him work up a whole new quote. Oh, sorry.
No.
I'm gonna ask him for a quote and then once I get the quote, tell him we'll go in a different direction. Sometimes you just gotta help people understand there's a better way to do business.
Why would you do that? I mean, what kind of salesperson does that?
I don't know, but just enough about Maurice. Is that it, Maurice?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Inviting for the Christmas party on the 15th.
It's the ninth. I'm bringing it to the one in July. Anyway. We have a draft of the, employees manual. Has that been sent to everybody, Luke?
Yes, it was in the meeting folder, so you're welcome to take a look through it, but John, Amanda, and I worked pretty hard to revamp that thing, because there were a lot of outdated policies or references to things that just don't exist. So if you go through, you'll see a lot of, or you may not see the red line, because I wanted to make a clean copy. The red line version was like 90 pages, so there's a lot of red line.
For clarification, Amanda and Luke really worked really hard on that. They deserve all the credit. We have our healthcare meeting next Monday at 3 p.m. It's required that you be here. Nobody's leaving this building until we vote on healthcare. So pack your bags, pack your lunch, and nobody getting out of here until we get a vote.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, what?
Monday? Next Monday, right?
The 24th, the 3.
At 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 I got scheduled, but if we're here till 7:30, 7:30 it is.
Who's gonna be here?
Me, my AR-15, 2 handguns, and a billy club.
I'm sorry, from the board's perspective.
All 3 of the board members, Joe will be back.
Okay,
Jim's gonna be here. Michelle will not, but she will join in through, she'll be in Spain, but she's asked me to send her a Teams invite.
okay,
And then Michael will be here for sure. Justin's gonna be here for sure. I just haven't heard back from Stephen.
okay.
Amanda will also join us via live stream.
Yeah.
So, but we're voting. We're not leaving here till we vote.
Yeah.
And we have some proposals. Well, you guys have seen the proposal.
Right.
It's the one that Stephen really come up with. Luke, do you want to explain the newsletter draft and the mailing? You
Yes.
explain it much better than I do.
Yes, so I put a template for the 2026 newsletter in the meeting folder. Starting next year, Microsoft Publisher is going the way of the Dodo. That is what I've used, and everybody's used before me to make the newsletters, so has to be in Word. But what I've noticed over the past few years, I pulled the numbers from our e-blast subscription mailing list. Those numbers have been dropping quite a lot. At the beginning of 23, we had 1,020 subscribers that received the newsletter, and now we're at, I think, 908. So we've lost 100 in 2 years. My thought in Prairie, I get a newsletter from the township in the mail. Becky says that Brown Township, they do the exact same thing. We have 1,650 households that we'd be sending that to. The cost to send a 4-page newsletter through the DAS would be 8 cents or 9 cents currently to mail it. And then I think 21 cents total for the actual thing. So it would just end up being around $1,500 to $2,000 per newsletter. We can continue to do it all digitally, but I would suggest doing a physical mailer because we're losing connection online.
Well, but the 100 that we've lost could be people that have moved out of the house. We don't have their current email, that sort of thing. So
my concern though is that if people move in, do they know that this is even a thing that exists? I mean,
Right.
a lot of people still call into us saying they live in Columbus. They don't live in Columbus. How would they know to access our resources if?
If they think that they're.
well, we're talking $8,000 a year for newsletter. I think that's the reason why we went digital is because like we're spending money and I still think I still feel like we figure out how to get communication out to everybody, the realtors, whatever, because we were doing a welcome packet, we were doing all kinds of, things that it's $8,000 and what ends up happening is, and this is no thing against what's in the newsletter, but people get it, it's like trash, they do it like that, and again, I'm one that's like, if we can figure out how to get people more on the digital side to make up the 100, that's my gut.
One of the issues I have been following here in the last month and a half, since we've had some increased communication with the residents about various projects is that we have had a number of folks who are elderly. And I think one of the things we need to keep in mind is there is a portion of our population in Perry that is older.
What are you saying?
Well, we could do an opt-in. I gotta be honest with you, I don't want any more trash mail than what I get. And I think that there's a lot of,
Yeah.
so can we do an opt-in, opt-out and refresh the,
The problem is, how do you let people understand that if you don't do at least one mailer? And again, who was the lady that called? She doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't have a computer. She doesn't have internet. She talked-
Charlotte, was it Charlene? What was that her first name or was that?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked, but it is, I think that we make an assumption that everybody has access to all those.
right, but at the same point, I'm on the other side of it saying, I don't want a newsletter. I don't want to spend taxpayer money to do that. So my thing is, do we send a letter out specifically to say, we send out a newsletter. This is your one and only chance, opt in or opt out. If you want to opt into a newsletter, at least we're compressing the number. And you have the ability to say, yeah, I would like a newsletter. I'm opting for print. I'm opting for digital.
I like that idea.
And then we can, and then we're at least,
We're giving them options.
well, we're giving them option to do it.
Would you do that once? Because things change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
with
move. Would you
real
do that
estate,
once a year?
why not do 2 letters a year? Instead of 4, do one in the spring, one in the fall,
Yeah,
because your busy season for real estate is spring and summer.
Well, that brings me to my second question, because while Browns is quarterly, Prairie's is only semi-annually. Would that be something that would interest you?
I think we have going on that, you know, with all the community events and everything like that, I think I think quarterly is, I mean, unless we're like the one. I just think quarterly is a good touch base for the stuff but I still think that if we're gonna do quarterly, I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm
But
just trying to figure out how to, I understand the hard copy of it, because I think people. And we always said in Worthing Hills, we lose about 60 households a year, meaning they move somewhere. And so, you know, how that translates to Brookside and Ravello and every other place. The question, I'm just trying to figure out, how do we at least once a year give that opt-in, opt-out option available to them?
we just get a list of all the houses that have sold and, you know, and we sent, I don't know how much
Or you can
more.
just do one at the beginning of the year and then mention, hey, the others will be digital, go here to
Right.
subscribe, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. That way you're only minimizing the total going out. I just think that we need at least something going out more often because of all the number of, but to John's point, and the whole reason I thought of that was when Michelle made the comment about the elderly folks who aren't getting
Yeah.
any of this communication. But also, we need to keep people's attention because they're out of the loop.
Right, and the other thing is do we also let them know that, you know, like I know Brookside has a Facebook page. I know, does Worthington Hills have a I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know.
No, I mean, there's groups that have Facebook.
Or at least websites that they can go to get information, you know, if they live in a whatever community, or so what we could do is just a letter saying, hey, we feel the newsletter's good. We want to know whether you opt in to get printed or opt out. And then it also gives us the ability to add presidents of, you know, like give a letter that says, hey, you got your civic association, here's your current president, you know, and send it out and give them like information, here's websites that you can go. And it's just a 1-page thing that we send out. Everybody gets one. And you know, we decide on that. I mean, I think that's sort of the middle of the road where we're not all in, all out.
You would continue to do a digital.
Yeah.
But send a letter out. Once a year?
Well, or
Yeah,
twice a
it
year.
could
I mean,
be that.
Steve's pointing at like twice a year.
It could be
just get it.
a bundled thing, like, hey, here's how you get the newsletter, but then also here's how you subscribe for e-blasts. Because I reorganized e-blasts so that it would be, when you subscribe, it's actually by your neighborhood. I feel like that might get.
Cause I know that, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I don't usually see the mail. I get the bills. I don't see all the other stuff, but the newsletters I do get, I read them, the e-blasts I get, I read them. So I just think there's a certain part of the population on the other side of it.
No, I don't argue that. I just know that there are people in the last month, 6 weeks that have said, I'm like, don't know what's going on because I don't have access to these processes, whether it be email. When the lady told me she doesn't have or told us she didn't even have a cell phone, I was like, you exist in this world. But, I mean, I think we need to keep in mind that there is just a segment of our population that is aging.
Sure.
And I don't know how many of those folks are being missed. But I like the idea of giving people the option, because you're right. There's an entire new group of people coming into the township as well that don't want that junk mail. They'll look at it online.
Right. But, I mean, if we can work out, and I think we did I think somewhere there's a letter that we sent out that was an opt-in, opt-out, and, I think it'd be a good to resurrect, but if we got their attention, I would say, let's put in like the websites, the current presidents, the current, that sort of thing, so, and let's just send it out, but it should be big and bold, and how, if I'm gonna opt in the newsletter, like opting in to the digital is super easy.
Yeah.
Click on a QR code or whatever, takes me where I'm gonna sign up. It's I opt in for the print. How do we wanna get that? You want them to call the township?
Calling would probably make the most sense, but we can think about how to accomplish that.
Cause if they don't have email, phones or anything like that.
Well, the lady has a landline. She didn't have email. She didn't have text. She didn't have a cell phone.
Who was this?
What was her name? I can't remember her name.
Remember,
Faith told me. Faith talked to her and said that. I mean, Faith was like, this woman's getting no communication from us because she has no resources to get it. She has a landline.
We have a resident on Beach Link the same way. She has a cell phone though.
That's what I was, it was her.
Yeah, her son actually receives our e-blast and will call, but yeah, she doesn't have internet.
Well, the family that we went down and repaired the door, they have none of that.
Oh, by the way.
They have a nice door, but they,
You get the invitation
no,
for John.
never did.
He called me.
About the invoice?
Yeah, he said, who did I send it to?
Me, but he.
Well, I know that part, but when I came in.
what's that?
I mean, they're working on a letter.
Will you do a letter? Yeah, that's
Do a letter.
perfect, because that goes into the second point. On that letter, we can include a link to the community survey. So I managed to find the 2017 community survey.
I saw that.
It is in there, so
I do.
come up with ideas. I'm happy to put it together whatever you want.
And the other thing is to be able to kind of see, we kind of standardize it, like we had this survey, and then we had another survey, and then we had another survey, so we can see how we're tracking.
Mhm.
So, we have comparables, because if you redesign the survey every time, but things may have changed since 2017.
Come up with a new standard then, and then annually from here on out, we can have all that bundled
And
together.
just look at, because I think it's really good, and I think it's really good for the department heads to kind of see what's the community's, interpretation of what we're doing. So,
We'd all have all that all in one letter, like goes out at the beginning of the year. Perfect.
yeah.
For
Sure.
All right, bye, Josh. Nothing else?
Fiscal officer, I'll make the motion to approve payroll and disbursements.
Second?
Vote,
Yes. and
and then I got a question. Do we need to sign the bank reconciliation form for October? I didn't see that.
In the packet.
There it is.
Good eye.
Good eye, Andy. I was looking at resolutions.
I'm good for one. Oh. Anything else?
You guys signed some minutes.
You don't sign the 20th, yeah.
Yeah, don't sign the 20.
You put it in here for that.
Anything else?
No,
I move
anything
to
else?
adjourn.
Second vote,
Yeah.
yes.